Good morning, it's day 16 in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Woohoo! No, I said I'd stop doing that. Drat! Sorry, I broke my promise. I can't promise that I won't not do it again. That's not proper English. Day 16, let's get into it. I started my day off with an oil change because I had driven 5,000 miles since I bought the car, so it was time for an oil change. Yes, it's a hybrid, every 5,000, not every 3,000, like regular cars like the rest of you fools have. Yep, I called you fools. That's right, deal with it. So after my oil was changed, I went to the New Mexico History Museum, which is partially in the Palace of the Governors, and apparently it is the oldest standing government building in the nation. It's over 400 years old. That's because they used it as the Palace of the Governors before New Mexico became a state. And while they have remodeled it or refurbished it or something it, some of the original structure still stands, and they have highlighted that in the museum, which is pretty cool to see. The museum also has a pretty big collection of crucifixes that were done by New Mexico artists, ranging back quite a few years. I feel like a couple hundred at least. But they were interesting to look at, and although frightening in their display of all of them all at once, pretty cool, though. The more modern building of the New Mexico History Museum has a pretty detailed history of the past, however many years New Mexico's history is, from when it was part of Mexico and the indigenous people all the way up through statehood. And there was also a really cool exhibit that wasn't really highlighted, that was all these, from far away they look like tiles, and then when you get up close and you look at the shadows, they're faces, and all of the face shadows are totally different. So I thought that was really neat, probably highlighting the many faces of New Mexico, or at least that's what I choose to believe, because I don't think I remember what the actual exhibit was called. I walked around Santa Fe a little bit longer, had some tacos, and then I also walked around the grounds of the Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi. What a mouthful that name is. So the grounds are pretty, and they have this fun labyrinth in the tiles out front, and so I followed the path from the beginning to the end, and it was just a nice little walk. It took about 5 minutes, and it's not a very big labyrinth, but when you walk from end to end, and it was just something fun to do. So that's the Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi. Again, that's a really long name. They gotta shorten that. After walking around Santa Fe, I went out to Bandelier National Monument, which is a canyon. Yeah, it's a canyon, and they have an ancestral pueblo and some cave dwellings that you can do a short 2 mile hike around. It's a loop, and you get to go up into the cave dwellings, and you get to see the remains of the pueblo and sort of get a feel for the history of the area. So it was sort of interesting in that they still have the remains of this giant circle, which is sort of like the town center, and you could sort of see where the storage rooms were, and it was pretty neat. So they also had some of the original petroglyphs. Yeah, I think petroglyphs on the rock face, and so you could see like the sun swirl and birds and a dog apparently, although I didn't see the dog, or if I saw the dog, I didn't know it was a dog. But Bandelier is pretty neat. There are more hiking trails around Bandelier, but I only had time to do the short walk around and poke my face in the cave dwellings. Pretty neat. After returning to the Donagers from Bandelier, I had dinner with Pete, and then we hung out and watched some TV and played with the dog Fiona. Again, I still don't have a dog. That's it for day 16. See you tomorrow. Bye.